From the studios at Bossier Parish Community College, this is BPCC News.
Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning into the BPCC News. I'm Sydney Parker.
And I'm Adam Stampley. Let's take a look at what's happening around campus.
Once on This Island is based on the 1985 book My Love by Rosa Guy, which is set in the Caribbean and is the retelling of Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid. The show will be in the theater on October 11th through 13th and 18th through 20th at 7:30 p.m. and October 14th and 21st at 2 p.m. Tickets are $15.
BPCC's own Connor Benedict has entered into the Louisiana Film Prize with 3 movie submissions. They include Sweet Pie, Creatura, and Not Your Ordinary Hero. Connor has also been nominated for Best Acting for Gloria. Go out and support Connor as well as the Louisiana Film Prize, which runs October 3rd through 7th.
The Rotaract Club of BPCC has partnered with the Food Bank of Northwest Louisiana to create an emergency food pantry to help serve those students who have food insecurities. The BPCC Rotaract Emergency Food Pantry is the only college-initiated food pantry in Northwest LA. The food pantry will be open on Thursdays and Fridays from 11 to 1 p.m. at D113. BPCC Rotaract members will be manning the pantry, and PSC students will be working inventory. The pantry is free to those who are eligible, and once eligibility is confirmed, each student will receive 10 pounds of food per week.
Experience a thrill unlike any other in the world, where virtual reality meets eMotion. eMotion Matrix is the inclusive, touring virtual reality 360 experience that includes a motion platform and sensory/emotion enhancements and is engineered with the highest technology to deliver a full 4D virtual reality. Sponsored by the BPCC Office of Student Life, eMotion Matrix will be available on Wednesday, October 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Building F.
HeartSaver First Aid and CPR is a video-based instructor-led course that teaches students critical skills needed to respond to and manage an emergency until emergency medical services arrive. Skills covered in this course include first aid, choking relief, and what to do for a sudden cardiac arrest. Course cost is $89 and you must be at least 15. The course runs this Saturday the 29th from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. in room D206.
Don't miss an opportunity to meet with a LSUS representative who will evaluate unofficial transcripts, assist in application process, and answer any questions regarding LSUS admissions, programs, student life, and/or scholarship opportunities. The next LSUS transfer visit will be Wednesday, October 3rd at 8:30 a.m. and will run until 12 p.m. in Building D.
Coming up after the break, Lauren Wagner will let you know what to expect outside for the rest of the week. Stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm Lauren Wagner with the BPCC Weather, and coming up after the break, we're going to talk about your current temperatures around the Arklatex. Take a look at your temperatures right here at BPCC, and we're going to look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with me.
My son is a handsome young man, like a movie star. There's no limit to what he can do. I don't know why he would ruin himself with alcohol. When I think about the happy boy he used to be and how sad his life is now, it breaks my heart. I love him as much as I ever did, maybe more, but I don't understand why this is happening. My therapist recommended I go to Al-Anon family groups. He said Al-Anon members have lived through the same kinds of things that are happening to my family. I didn't want to go to Al-Anon. And I didn't want anyone to know how difficult it's been. But I'm glad I went. Is someone's drinking breaking your heart? You might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
When a counselor asked how much my husband drinks, I said, not that much. I don't know why I said that. He always drank too much. But I guess I'm so used to keeping it a secret that I didn't tell the truth, to myself or anyone else. My husband has drinks with friends after work. He has a couple of drinks at home with dinner, and a few more while we watch TV. Pretty soon he's shouting at me and blaming me for all of his problems. I just can't take it anymore. A counselor recommended Al-Anon family groups. She said Al-Anon members have had experiences just like mine, and they would explain how Al-Anon is helping them. I didn't want to go to Al-Anon, but I'm sure glad I did. Is someone's drinking breaking your heart? You might be surprised at what you can learn at an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
It's been more than 5 minutes.
No, it hasn't.
Hey, can you two
I
keep
want
it
it.
for
It's
me?
my turn.
No, it isn't.
please, just keep it down. I remember days when just driving down the street would give me anxiety. And now, look at me.
Don't get me wrong, I still don't love crowded places. But it's good to get out again.
Noises like that used to make me hit the deck. But now, I can keep going.
Transitioning from the military can be tough. We all have unique experiences, but many veterans are facing similar challenges. Life goes on, but some things are different now. Visit MakeTheConnection.net to watch our stories and learn ways to create the story you want to live. No one can write it for you. Make sure it's a good one. Make the connection.
Hey guys, welcome back to BPCC Weather. I'm Lauren Wagner. Let's look at your current temperatures around the Arklatex. Right now around the Arklatex, it's in the high 60s to low 70s with 69 degrees in Marshall. We have 68 degrees in Nacogdoches, 65 degrees in Texarkana, while we have 68 degrees in Ruston, 69 degrees in Minden, and we have 71 degrees in Natchitoches. Let's look at your temperatures right here at BPCC. Right now at BPCC, it's a cool 68 degrees with a humidity of 83%. Your dew point is at 62 degrees with a wind coming in from the east-northeast at 7 miles per hour. And your sunset tonight is at 7:03. Let's check out your 5-day forecast. Hope you guys enjoyed that cool weather because it's not sticking around for long. We have a 10% chance of rain tomorrow with a high of 81 and a low of 68. For your Sunday, your rain chances increase to 50 with a high of 86 and a low of 69. To start your week on Monday, we have a 40% chance of rain with a high of 87 and a low of 71. And going into Tuesday, your rain chances decrease to 20 with a high of 88 and a low of 71. And for your Wednesday, we have a partly cloudy with a 10% chance of rain with a high of 88 and a low of 71. That was a look at your weather, guys. I'm Lauren Wagner. Back to you guys at the desk. Tents are popping up at Festival Plaza days before the 43rd annual Red River Revel Arts Festival begins. Artists and event organizers are preparing for the 9-day event. The festival kicks off this Saturday starting at 11 a.m. featuring performers like country singer Michael Ray, who will be performing at 7:30 p.m. Festival goers can also enjoy food, art, and a kids area. Parents can buy their kids a $20 wristband that will give them unlimited play on Duval's amusements. The festival ends October 7th.
A prayer vigil was held Thursday night for Joshua Kidd, the young airman who was murdered last Tuesday morning. Tech Sergeant Joshua Kidd's family sat front and center as Airline Baptist Church helped host a vigil for the fallen airman. He leaves behind his wife Alyssa and their 2-year-old baby boy Beckham. He also leaves behind a cohort of airmen that loved him like family. Terry Young, lead pastor for Airline Baptist, was asked to help organize the vigil. Young not only focused on prayer for the Kidd family, but on prayer for the community as a whole, including police officers as they pursue lead on Kidd's murderer.
Since the Me Too movement began on social media, at least one Arklatex organization said more survivors have come forward. According to Angela Henderson, Assistant Executive Director and Sexual Assault Program Director of Project Celebration, more women feel empowered to tell their stories than ever before. Henderson said Project Celebration offers support to victims of domestic and sexual violence. Support services can vary from helping people at the hospital, safe housing, and counseling and support groups. She also said the crime is vastly underreported. After the assault, many survivors blame themselves and risk falling into depression. If you need help or know someone who needs help, encourage them to seek help.
Coming up after the break, Chris Hale will update you on the upcoming Major League Baseball playoffs.
Hi, I'm Chris Hale. After the break, we talk about Thursday night football and Major League Baseball playoffs.
In 1977, in Johannesburg, South Africa, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. By the age of 9, he was already outplaying him. The odds of this gentle lad winning the Junior World Golf Championships at the age of 14, 1 in 16 million. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the Open Championship once and the US Open Championship twice, 1 in 780 million. The odds of this professional golfer having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
Hi, I'm Rusty Wallace. In racing, the driver is only as good as the team they've got behind them. The same principle holds true in business. A successful company invests in employees that are highly skilled and display good character. Our returning servicemen and women fit that bill. They've shown that they've got the qualities that make them real assets to any company that hires them. In the military, their education may include training in technology, communications, and logistics. But more importantly are the values that they embrace, like courage, integrity, and leadership, the same values that can make a business successful. So if you're an employer, on behalf of the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, I want to urge you to hire smart and bet on a vet. It's also a great way to thank them for the service they provided on our behalf. To learn more, call the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes at 1-888-44-SALUTE or visit saluteheroes.org on the web. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
We grew up together. We believed in something bigger than ourselves. The military took me to one side of the world and her to the other. And even though she was always the strong one, when we caught up years later, I found out she had fallen on some hard times. It was her call to make, but doing it together made all the difference.
When I see homeless vets on my route, I always think to myself, we both swore an oath to protect our way of life, to protect our community. With VA's hotline for homeless vets, I can get them connected with help to get them back on their feet again.
VA's round-the-clock hotline can put veterans who are homeless in touch with the resources and support they earned through their military service. You have the power to help a veteran facing homelessness. Go to va.gov/homeless to print your walled cards. For veterans who are homeless or on the brink of homelessness, call 877-424-3838.
Hello, I'm Chris Hale at BPCC Sports. Let's get to Friday's stories. The Rams and the Vikings played the best game of the 2018 season so far, with the two teams trading scores seemingly every few plays. They combined for 1,002 yards and 69 points, with Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins slicing holes through two of the NFL's best defenses and all the various skill position plays on each team doing their best to make fantastic plays all over the field. It was also an exceedingly well-played game, with just 6 penalties and 6 punts combined between the two teams. Both teams, by the way, also had 6 scoring possessions. Until the very end of the game, there were few sacks taken either. Both coaches were willing to be aggressive and throw in should-run situations and go for it on 4th down. LSU basketball player Wade Sims was killed in a shooting near Southern University campus early Friday morning, according to Baton Rouge police. Sims, a 20-year-old junior from Baton Rouge, was shot during an altercation outside a Subway restaurant across from Southern's football stadium around 1:25 a.m. Friday. A video obtained by WBRZ shows several men fighting in the street outside the restaurant. A gunshot can be heard and Sims can be seen falling to the ground before the remaining men start running around from the scene. Sims was transported to a local hospital where he died from a gunshot wound, according to Baton Rouge police. We are all devastated, LSU coach Will Wade said via a statement. We need your prayers for Wade, for his family, for all of us. We are heartbroken. Wade said he got the call early this morning, then went to the hospital. He told the team at 6:30 when they had originally scheduled a morning workout. Major League playoffs are almost here. Let's take a look at the playoff picture. The Red Sox are the AL East champs and top seed. The Astros are the AL West champs and number 2 seed. The Indians are the AL Central champs and number 3 in the AL. The Yankees and Athletics are the 2 AL wild cards. Over on the NL side, the Braves are the NL East champions. The Cubs and Brewers have clinched playoff spots. With just 3 games to play, the Yankees hold a 2-game lead over the A's for the first wild card, so it's overwhelmingly likely that the game will be played in Yankee Stadium. The A's visit the Angels for 3 games, while the Yankees are at the Red Sox in the divisional round. Well, that's it for sports. Have a good weekend. Back to the news desk.
Following Thursday's explosive hearing, the Senate Judiciary Committee is voting to move Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court nomination to the Senate floor. Oscar Jimenez has details on what happened at the morning's meeting and what to expect moving forward in the confirmation process.
Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court nomination is moving forward. Friday morning, the Senate Judiciary Committee voted to bring the nomination one step closer to the full Senate.
There's simply no reason to deny Judge Kavanaugh a seat on the Supreme Court on the basis of evidence presented to us.
Democratic Senators Kamala Harris and Cory Booker both withheld their votes in protest.
From top to bottom, this has been about bullies. Listen to the people. All we have asked for is that there be an FBI investigation.
And prior to the meeting, protesters cornered Republican Senator Jeff Flake in an elevator.
What you are doing is allowing someone who actually violated a woman to sit in the Supreme Court.
Don't look away from me. Look at me and tell me that it doesn't matter what happened to me. Look at me when I'm talking to you. You're telling me that my assault doesn't matter.
Committee Democrats had moved to subpoena Kavanaugh's friend, Mark Judge, to testify before the vote, but the motion was defeated. Both Judge and Kavanaugh have denied any wrongdoing. A procedural vote on Kavanaugh's nomination is tentatively scheduled on the Senate floor Saturday, with a final confirmation vote intended for Tuesday. In order to secure that confirmation, the GOP needs a simple majority to vote in favor of Kavanaugh. The margin is expected to be close. A handful of senators from both sides of the aisle are still wild cards. In Washington, I'm Omar Jimenez reporting.
The American Bar Association is calling on the Senate Judiciary Committee to halt the consideration of President Donald Trump's Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh, until FBI investigation is completed into the sexual assault allegations against him. The organization says it's making the request due to the respect for the rule of law and the many concerns voiced by the Senate Democrats since Christine Blasey Ford's allegations became public. Republicans have rejected Democratic calls for an FBI probe and are planning to hold a committee vote Friday before moving the nomination to the floor this weekend.
Dozens of passengers of the Boeing 737-800 survived a crash after their plane missed the runway and landed in a sea lagoon on an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The aircraft was carrying 35 passengers and 12 crew members. Passenger Bill Janes recounted his experience and stated that after the crash, passengers were up to their waist in water and had to use an emergency escape door to exit. After the chaos died down, passengers and crew were taken to the hospital for checks and no serious injuries were reported.
Wilmington residents are slowly coming home to a new reality after swollen rivers and flooding from Florence cut off the city of 118,000 people. 2 weeks after Florence slammed the Carolinas coastline, overflowing rivers are still a concern as they make their way to the ocean. Overflowing rivers and flooding concerns are not the only problem. The murky waters of the Florence aftermath are loaded with bacteria, viruses, and other pollutants, and officials are warning residents to stay out of contaminated coastal waters to avoid infections such as earaches, hepatitis, skin rashes, and respiratory issues.
When the company behind a nationwide high school test reached out to test takers 50 years later, they found surprising results. Reed Binion has more on the surprising link.
Could a test that was originally intended to find high school students with aptitudes for science and engineering during the space race actually help identify risk factors for developing Alzheimer's? That's what researchers behind PT Med hope to achieve. The study was recently published in the Journal of the American Medical Association. It is the first to link cognitive tests from one's adolescence to their Medicare records concerning Alzheimer's and related diseases. The study was able to catch up to about 85,000 people who took the Project Talent test in 1960 and compare their test results with Medicare claims. The results were striking. When researchers looked over their 1960 test results, they found that the men who scored lower in mechanical reasoning and the women who scored lower in memory for words both had higher odds of having developed these diseases. Of the 85,000, 2.9% of the men and 3.3% of the women had developed Alzheimer's or related diseases. Researchers hope that by identifying certain cognitive indicators during adolescence, they can help to identify at-risk groups and start early prevention or intervention treatment. For today's Health Minute, I'm Reed Binion.
All right, coming up after this, Lauren Wagner will be back with your weather recap.
Coast Guard Foundation gave me funds to attend school.
During that same time, my wife was pregnant. The foundation's grant allowed us to buy food, diapers, clothing.
Coast Guard Foundation really helps us to keep in touch with our families. They make an impact, and it leaves an impression that you don't forget.
I would like to thank the Coast Guard Foundation for helping out when times were tough.
Because sometimes, even the rescuers need to be rescued. The Coast Guard Foundation, proudly supporting the men and women of the United States Coast Guard and their families. Find out how you can help at rescuetherescuers.org.
I teach a wide variety of things, including film editing, directing, documentary making, lighting. I fell in love with art as a young child, and it's just always something that has stuck with me.
You know, I love the whole process of going on set, going back into the editing room, telling a story. That's what I really love about film.
I got laid off from my job, and I figured this was the perfect opportunity to go to school to get a degree for it.
As a kid, I was really into geeky stuff. I couldn't think of anything else that I would rather do.
They really provide you with the equipment and you know, the necessary tools in order to, you know, advance in a career, especially in communications field.
Well, one thing that really drew me to video production especially is it's just a way to reach people. And as someone who likes to communicate with other people, I felt that mass communication, especially broadcasting, was a tool that I could use.
You get some hands-on experience. They've got good stuff to work with. They really know what they're doing, and they're willing to pass it on.
When our students leave Bossier Parish Community College, they are equipped to get a job immediately, or they can move on to a 4-year degree.
Hey guys, I'm Lauren Wagner with your weekend weather recap, and today for Friday we have a 0% chance of rain with a high of 81 and a low of 64. Tomorrow for your Saturday we have a 10% chance of rain with a high of 84 and a low of 68. And for your Sunday, your rain chances increase to 50% with a high of 86 and a low of 69. That was a look at your weekend weather recap. I'm Lauren Wagner. Back to you guys at the desk.
About 5,300 all-terrain vehicles are being recalled because of a fire hazard. CF Moto voluntarily instituted the recall of certain C-Force ATVs because the fuel hose can crack and cause a fuel leak, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission reports. The recall includes 2016 through 18 models of the C-Force 400 and 27 through 18 models of the C-Force 500. The vehicles in question were sold for $4,200 to $6,000 each from November 2015 through July 2018 at CF Moto dealers nationwide. Luckily, no incidents or injuries related to the recall have been reported.
An estimated 80,000 Americans died of flu and its complications last winter, according to the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention. This means it was the deadliest season in more than 4 decades, since 1976, the date of the first published paper reporting total seasonal flu deaths. Total flu fatalities during the most recent season included the deaths of 180 children, which exceeds the previous record high of 171 during a non-pandemic flu season. According to the CDC, additionally, the nation experienced a record-breaking estimated 900,000 hospitalizations last flu season.
An elderly couple helps save a family from a car fire, and a Goodwill employee finds nearly $50,000 in a donation. Coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
A California woman and her 2 grandchildren are lucky to be alive, and it's all thanks to a quick-thinking couple. While driving, the pair noticed the car in front of them was smoking and forced it to the side of the road.
When we went up to the window, she says, "Why'd you pull me over?" And I said, "Because your car's on fire." She says, "Oh my God, my babies."
They quickly pulled the woman's 2 small grandchildren out of the back seat. The car eventually burst into flames as firefighters responded. No one was injured in the incident. When all was said and done, the couple said they felt compelled to donate their own grandchild's car seat to the woman. You know, you never know what you'll find at a Goodwill donation store. Employee Jesse Diaz is living proof of that notion. While sorting through a box of donated items in a San Diego area store, he found $46,000 in cash, wrapped in foil and tucked inside an appliance. Diaz and his managers quickly started sorting through receipts and discovered a woman donated the items after a family member passed away. She had no idea the cash was stashed inside. Diaz was on hand when Goodwill's CEO returned the money and says he'd do it again.
You know, it's just the right thing to do. I didn't think twice.
Another valuable discovery was made, this one in an Arkansas state park. Park officials say a 71-year-old woman found a nearly 3-carat unpolished ice white diamond while searching in Crater of Diamonds State Park. Makes sense. They also say the woman's find is the largest diamond found in the park in 2018. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
All right, that's all the news we have for you today. I'm Sydney Parker.
And I'm Adam Stampley. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.